Hey everyone, from today onwards, we are gonna be going live every day
Yeah.
at in the morning 10 a.m. and in the evening 10 p.m. IST time. So we're gonna be asking each other questions, like any type of
Yeah.
questions. Today the topic is time management. So Jivika is gonna be asking. I'll be asking Jivika a question first.
And I'll be asking you some questions. Am I right?
Yes.
So, let's get started.
Yes.
So,
The first question for you is, what are some techniques for time management that you find helpful?
okay, so some techniques that I find helpful is like some techniques that I find helpful are like Pomodoro technique or a technique that I use so I can creative mindset and focus mindset, like two different types. So I use that too, and also I use calendar technique. I love when I use the calendar, it also helps me. So which one should I start with? I'm going to start with calendar. So doing the calendar technique, it helps me to know where I have been using my time and where I have been wasting it. So let's say in my calendar, you can use any calendar. You can use Apple Calendar or Google Calendar. I use Google Calendar the most. So every day at the end of the day or at the morning, what I did before I write it, whatever I did, I write that down. And at the end of the day, I write whatever I have written on it. So it helps me to know at the end of the day, once I write everything, I know how much time I have spent on things that are useful for me and the things that are non useful for me. So that's one technique. The second technique is Pomodoro technique. So I think you guys have been hearing a lot about this. So doing the Pomodoro technique, you can use some apps like the Pomodoro website. There's even a Pomodoro app. So there are many different Pomodoros. You can use any one of them. So you have got 20 minutes timer as your work time, 5 minutes short break, and a long break for 20 minutes. So firstly, you have your work for 20 minutes, then a short break for 5 minutes, your work, short break, work, short break, work, short break, and then you have got a long break after some 4 to 5 short breaks. So you can have a long break after some lots of working. And there's one thing in the Pomodoro technique that I have noticed is you can add tasks. So the task can be like doing video or something that you want to do in your work time. So in your work time, you can use those tasks and you can do your things. You can set it. How many times will you do the Pomodoro? So let's say I want to do video recording 20 times a day or 10 times a day, and then I finish those using the Pomodoro technique. So that's very useful for me. So now, last but not least, my third technique, the creative mindset and the focus mindset. So here it's almost like the calendar one, but it's a bit different. On a sheet of paper or on your notes, you can write down all of your things you want to accomplish this today, this week, or this month. Once you do that, you can write it down. After that, you're gonna have this much space left, and you're gonna draw a line between that. And then you're gonna write creative and focus. So in the creative side, let's say I want to write a book. Okay, let's say for example. So that will go on the creative side because I'm thinking, what am I gonna write? And let's say I wrote something else, so that will go into the focus. And there's one thing. Sometimes you can do creative one day, focus one day, creative one day, focus one day, or creative one half of the week and focus the other half, or focus mornings, creative afternoons, creative mornings, and focus afternoons. So yeah.
Okay. So you have any questions for me?
Yeah, so I've got some few. So, do you use a timer or an alarm clock to help you manage your time?
Ooh. Okay. So so I actually use both. If I'm sleeping, I use an alarm clock to wake up, and I also use Google Calendar with it because it's kind of like an alarm clock.
Yes.
Like you have to start doing this task at this time. I have two timers, one on the time it's supposed to start and 5 minutes before. So also with that, I use a timer for Pomodoro technique.
So you also use it.
Yes. So,
So
for
that also
Pomodoro,
helps.
yeah. So for Pomodoro technique, I use a timer, so I can put 25 minutes, 5 minute break, 25 minutes, 5 minute break, and after a long time, I just put 20 minutes break. But since I am more focused, I can do like a long time. So the timer is actually like a tool to for me to check how much time I spent on this task. So for example, if I put the timer for 15 minutes and I start working on some task, the amount of times I press restart on the timer is the amount of time I've used multiplied by 15 minutes for that specific task. So it's like a way to find out how much you use your time for that task or for that thing or whatever you are doing. So that is one way of using a timer. An alarm clock, you don't actually need an alarm clock once you have a routine. Once you finally get used to something, once you get used to a calendar, you can like do for everything. So you can even make like the timer of no use, because using the calendar you can like make it all one day. And you won't even need an alarm clock because you have a routine after every time you do it. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Like once you get into a routine, you don't need none of these things, nor a timer, nor an alarm clock. Now I'm changing my routine, so that's why I'm gonna be using both of them, because I want to wake up early, do recording on this time, and manage my time and do everything like that, like idea searching for you guys to have amazing videos. And every time we want to be able to make you entertained, have you learn while being entertained. So at these multiple things to keep in mind. So I think I pretty much answered the question. Do I use a timer or an alarm clock more?
Okay, since you still have 2 minutes left, I'm going to give you one more question.
Okay.
So, your next question is time management important to you? If it is, then why?
Yes, time management is super important for me, because the only reason time management makes me understand what time I spent on something and how I can reduce that time. So if I take in like a long time to just do a task, then I have to find some way to reduce it. Like find some AI tools, find some text tools, find some tricks, find some automation tool, or do whatever I can to reduce that time rather than keeping that time. Because time management is basically in that time management. So you manage your time effectively.
Wow, such funny joke.
Yes. So it is important. Why again is it can help you organize your day, understand what you're doing in your day, and finally find out where you're wasting your time. So today I just found out that I am totally wasting my time. So from today onwards, I'm not gonna be wasting my time, because I know what I'm wasting my time on now. So I'm gonna stop wasting my time on that thing, and I'm gonna start working on what will make this channel better and make this a better place.
Yeah. So, I guess your time's over and you did it perfectly. So, my questions now.
Yes. Do you use any applications or tools, automation tools, whatever let it be, to help with time management?
Okay, so I might have answered this in the first one, but I'll answer it again. So, yes, I do. And here are some. I already told you about the Pomodoro one, so that's one. I even use some. I even use calendar that helps me manage my time. I also use some recordings of me speaking so I know how well I'm doing it, and it helps me manage my time and I don't waste so much time on doing the recording again and again. So I quickly do one small recap of the part that I'm saying, like 1 2 lines. I record it and I see how good I'm doing it or how bad I am. So I know what am I doing right or what I have to improve on. So that really helps too. And I even uses some alarms too to help me so I can stay perfectly focused, and I make sure that I put everything means everything on my laptop, PC, and my iPad on do not disturb so no one disturbs me when I'm focusing. So it helps me to focus on the task that I want to accomplish so I can truly accomplish it, and I do not waste my time chatting or sending the messages. So I get to focus on the things that I want to do. So I guess I've answered that question.
Yes, you've answered it very beautifully. I understood every single aspect of it. Now, any question for me? Last one.
Well, I guess I have still some more time, so go ahead and ask me one.
How do you use a planner or calendar to schedule your activities?
So I've already told about the calendar part, but I'll just explain it again for whoever's here. So I do use a calendar or a planner. So during the calendar, as I told you, I write whatever I have done in the whole day. So I know what I have done, what I have wasted my time on, and what I have invested in. So when I invest on my stuff, I am happy. But when I waste my time, I am sad. So actually, guys, time goes by quickly. You might do something wrong in that time, but it will never come back. Even if you pray, even if you tell God, it will never come back because that time has been gone. It only comes once. This 1 second can only come once. It will not come again. Once you have wasted your time, it will not come back. But in your next time, you can do something better. So, that's one more thing.
Yes. So, guys, keep in mind that every day from today onwards, we're gonna be doing a live in the morning, 10 a.m. IST and 10 p.m. IST.
Indian time.
Yes, Indian time.
So,
I hope you guys all enjoyed. Keep waiting for amazing content on this YouTube channel. It's gonna be an amazing day. Have a good, amazing night. Good night, everyone.
bye.